Jessie Mueller as Jenna the Pie Maker with a fresh new outlook on life in Everything Changes. I hope you get to see Waitress soon, Julie. In the meantime, though, it's the news now, so I'm going to be straight back afterwards with another hour of show tunes and movie songs chosen by you on my Over to You edition. Keep listening because yours might be on its way. This is Radio 2 on the BBC Sounds app, on your smart speaker, and on 88 to 91 FM.
BBC News at 2 o'clock. This is Jason Kay. Ben Stokes has helped lead England's cricketers to victory in the men's T20 World Cup final. Jos Buttler's side reached their target of 138 with an over to spare as they beat Pakistan by 5 wickets. Our cricket correspondent Jonathan Agnew reports from Melbourne.
Pakistan's target should never have challenged England in this form, and it was duly overhauled with an over to spare. For that, they need to thank Ben Stokes, who once again demonstrated how he soaks up pressure to guide his team home. But there were others too. Curran's bowling throughout was outstanding. Today he took 3 for 12 from 4 overs, while Rashid's consistency shone through once again. From losing to Ireland, albeit through the rain rule, England raised their game throughout their tournament to become the first men's team to be world champions in both forms of the white ball game.
The Chancellor, Jeremy Hunt, has said that everyone will need to pay a bit more tax to help fix the multi-billion-pound hole in the public finances. Labour's responded by saying that if it won power, it would strengthen a levy on energy firms, so they still paid a windfall tax, even if they were making investments in the UK. Mr Hunt suggested that in this Thursday's autumn statement, he would have to place limits on the help people received with their energy bills from next spring.
I will be announcing what will happen from April on Thursday. Will we continue to support people? Yes, we will. Will it be uncapped, unlimited? We have to recognise that one of the reasons for the instability that followed the mini-budget was that people were worried that we were exposing British public finances to the volatility of the international gas market. So there has to be some constraints to it.
Officials in the Ukrainian city of Kherson have warned that supplies of bread and medicines have run out, only days after Russian troops pulled out of the area. Yesterday, President Zelensky said that most of the region's critical infrastructure had also been destroyed. The King has led the nation in remembrance for the first time as monarch. King Charles laid a wreath at the cenotaph before a parade of 10,000 veterans marched past the memorial. The Defence Secretary Ben Wallace said it was a reminder of the consequences of war in Europe.
Today is a reminder that we've suffered wars in Europe before, and tens of thousands of British service personnel gave their lives as civilians to defeat fascism. Here we are again, tragically, decades later, with a war on continental Europe in Ukraine, where a similar Russian regime is trying to impose its will on a sovereign state.
A serving police officer with the Lancashire Force has been charged with attempted murder. It follows an incident at a hotel in Manchester last week when emergency services were called to a report of concerns for the welfare of a woman. She was taken to hospital where she's now in a stable condition. James Riley, who's 27, has been remanded in custody. Republicans have reacted angrily after the Democrats retained control of the US Senate in last week's midterm elections. One senator suggested the party was dead and buried. And that's the BBC News at 2:03. Let's find out what's happening on the roads and rail. Here's Orna Merchant.
Jason, thank you very much. Well, first of all, we've had the Remembrance Sunday commemorations, many of which are over, but the odd road closure still in the Odd City Centre. That's just to warn you, really. Argyle and Butte and the A83, rest and be thankful. Restrictions in place. Temporary lights, traffic taking it in turns. That's between the Helensburgh turn, the A814 and the Viewpoint. And Falkirk, it's the M80, the northbound side at Junction 7 at the Hags. And that's an accident which is partly blocking the road. The M90 is slow southbound down towards the Queen's Ferry crossing, and that's rugby traffic. Scotland and New Zealand playing, and that's at Murrayfield, just to warn you of that. So it is starting to improve now, though. The A64, and that's closed for weekend work near Old Malton roundabout at the A169. So if you're travelling between York and Scarborough, that's part of your route there. And Derbyshire, the A38, so that's near Kilburn. It's blocked after an accident, very near to Little Eaton Island as well. The A34 in Berkshire, still a bit of a problem there near the A4 Bath Road and Speen, so one lane closed after an accident. And the M11 closed for weekend work northbound 9 at Saffron Walden to 10 at Duxford. That's just on the northbound side. The M25, there's been an accident. It's between Chertsey and the M3. So 11 to 12, you'll find one lane closed. And it's quite heavy clockwise along the bottom near Godstone at 6. That's because of repairs in one of the lanes there as well. And the M5, all traffic being held. That's near 21 at Weston-super-Mare. More in an hour.
Listen live on the BBC Sounds app.
It's supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, even though the